Are you at the point where you've tried everything and nothing changes? You've prayed, you've apologized, you've bent over backwards, but the pain just doesn't stop. Here's the truth. Sometimes the healthiest thing a mom can do is step back a little bit, even if it means letting go. And I know that there's guilt associated with that, and the judgment and the fear that comes with even thinking about estrangement. But protecting your peace doesn't make you a bad mom. It makes you a strong one. Today, I'm sharing 4 signs that estrangement may be the only option right now. And let me say this up front. If you are facing any form of physical abuse, there is zero tolerance for that. Your safety and dignity come first. That always is number 1. So let's dive right in. Sign number 1 is safety is at risk. Like I said, if there's any physical abuse, threats, ongoing emotional or financial abuse, you do not need to stay in that situation, even if it's your child. No relationship is worth sacrificing your safety. Moms, you are not called to live in fear, and setting this permanent boundary may be the only way to protect yourself short term. And when I say permanent, I mean as long as that behavior is going on. It doesn't mean that your son or daughter can't change, but they've got some work to do. If that's happening, they have some work to do, and you're not going to be their savior. That's where moms really get tripped up. We think that we can be the change. We're going to be the catalyst for change. And honestly, I don't see that very often. It's usually someone else that God puts in their path, or he speaks to their heart directly where they have a change of heart and then they start doing the work. Number 2 is when boundaries are ignored. Okay, let's say, for example, you've set some clear, reasonable boundaries. Maybe it's about how they speak to you, how they treat your home, or how they use your resources. But if those boundaries are continually crossed or just flat out ignored, you may need to step back. Why? Because a boundary without respect is just a suggestion. So are you placing those firm boundaries around the situation, or are you just suggesting it? You need to decide when it comes to that. If this is where you find yourself and you're tired of carrying the weight of this, wondering what's next, I want to invite you to take the next step. I offer private discovery calls. This is not a coaching session, so please note that. It's a conversation where I learn a little bit more about what's going on with your son or daughter, but more importantly, I want to know how this is affecting you. We're going to talk about you because that's who I help, right? I work with the moms through one-on-one and group coaching. If that's something you're interested in, the link is in the show notes or below. If you're ready for a deeper breakthrough in person, you can join me and the other moms in October at the Rise Retreat. It's October 10 and 11. All the details are below. We're going to have 2 powerful days of healing, teaching, and connecting with other moms. Spots are limited, so don't wait. I'm super excited about that. I can't wait to hear more about your story and meet you all in person. Number 3 is your mental health is declining. Is your mental health declining? Maybe you're noticing constant anxiety, depression, or maybe even physical symptoms from the stress. If your emotional health is eroding day by day, you cannot brush that off. Now, chronic stress, we all know what that does to our body, but that is like waving a red flag. You need to protect your mental health, and it's not selfish. Some days it becomes survival. I've been there. I had to walk away and stop answering the phone during different periods of our estrangement. It was very difficult to be able to do that, but I knew because I had reached a point with my alcohol use as well as my physical health. And I knew that I had to walk away from the stress. I had to walk away so that I was going to be okay. Because otherwise, like I said, it just kind of chips away day by day. And you have to put a stop to it. Doesn't mean it's forever. I'm proof of that. It does not mean it's forever. It was, for me, it was a period of time. And I think that's the biggest thing, to be really honest with you, is in the beginning, I thought, oh my gosh, I can't do that. I can't walk away. How do I walk away from my child? She might need me. But you know what? God's got her. God had her the whole time, way more than I could ever do. But if I didn't take care of myself, I wasn't going to be here to even enjoy the relationship in the future. And so I had to take care of me, and so do you. Number 4 is when there's zero effort on the other side. I mean, zero. When the relationship is entirely one-sided, you're doing all the reaching out, all the apologizing, all the fixing, and then they're manipulating, gaslighting, or showing zero effort to even meet you halfway. That is a painful reality. But any healthy relationship requires effort from two people. So if you are carrying it alone, you might need to take a step back and learn to let go a little bit. Don't make this relationship your whole world. You need to find other things in your life that light you up, right? Find hobbies, find other people, circles. You need to be able to have a support system. So estrangement is not about punishment. It's not about abandoning them. It's about preserving yours, your faith, your well-being. And like I said, there's a difference between setting a temporary distance and choosing permanent estrangement. I don't think any of us could choose permanent estrangement unless there's physical abuse. And even then, people can change. But for you, setting that temporary distance can be very valid and necessary for a period of time. If you feel like you've already tried enough, you don't have to keep proving yourself or apologizing, like we said earlier, or fixing what someone else refuses to repair. So one practical step I could give you here is, if you are wrestling with that decision, I encourage you to journal about what you've tried, right? Find a coach, a trusted friend, someone that you can share that with. Sometimes writing it out makes it just clearer, right? You can see what you've already tried, but don't ever give up hope. Don't ever give up hope. There's always hope for every single relationship. There's always hope for every single human, but they have to make some decisions. And those decisions are not yours to make for them. And that's the hard part for moms. I hope this helped you today. I will see you in the next episode. God bless.